Right, it's 8 o'clock. Actually, it's a minute after 8 o'clock. 1 minute after 8 o'clock. 60 seconds. I was almost ready on time yesterday. On time, day before, 1 minute before. But right now, it's a minute after the hour of 8 o'clock. And 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., 2000 hours, 8 o'clock. Tasha is first up with the greetings and she beats Kritika this time. How's it, Kritika? And Brenzo. Yes, Marian. Good evening, good evening. Jessica Rama. Oh, you Rama. Rama's not the surname, by the way. Rama was your father's name. Ramalingam was his name. And you got his surname, Rama. Rajan Pillai. Mervyn Naidu is off today. Are you off today, Mervyn? Are you not on the road? Or have you completed your shift? 6 to 6. Good evening. Roger Naidu joins us from the UK. Jackie, birthday girl yesterday, is a day older today. A year older, day older. Good evening. Nadine is also first up as well. Freezing Thursday. Where is it freezing? Which part of the world are you freezing? Rajan Rambaram, Jasmine joins us. Jeremy Naika. Right. And of course, Woldy coming in from Langaban. And good evening to one and all, he says. Brenzo must teach Sunil how to be on time. Yep. Tasha says, I beat you. Yep, she beat Kritika to be first up today. Jafar Wab, Sunil Ramkisun, Kriyan Nader. Jessica says, my real surname, but far from the God himself. Okay. Alright, we'll say that's your real surname. Lord Ram. Nirupa. Yeah. Nirupa, after a long time, you joining us on the live feed. Even Graham Pigeon is here more often than Nirupa. Nadine Milligan in Stanger. Stranger from Stanger Banger. Cape Town is always freezing with the mountain. Yes. Loshni says, good evening from Durban. Winter has finally arrived here for some people. They are taking out jackets. Dion Panika, cheers bro with my Dion Panika says, cheers bro with my 60 Rand Lion quad. $60 you're choosing, you're parking with a 60 Rand Lion quad. Tasha first up, much on top of the mountain. Yep, she got the right internet correct. Right, good evening everybody and welcome. We'll do the official welcome just now in a couple of seconds. But yeah, what is the topic for today? Good evening, Jafar. That's what we're going to discuss now. What's the topic for today? First up, let's do all things that we are supposed to be doing. And say good evening to everybody. It's the day number 133 of lockdown, supposed lockdown. It's the 6th of August, 6th of Augustus. We have 529,000 infections and sitting on just nigh under 10,000 deaths. With 9,288 or 98. And I predicted by the weekend we would up to 10,000 deaths. So before the weekend is over, we probably should be reaching that mark or very near there. Never know. Because Yugen Gengen says, how's it? Right. So we're going to discuss the corruption issue, Cyril Ramaphosa issue, but that's coming on a little later on. Let's go through some stats first. Got a cold, Casey. I don't know, just recently, just half an hour ago, started the nose. Normally we do something different on Signal Hill. Yep. Casey organized some guais. Says Salim, Slamo, guais, haram, that thing. You can't do that. Right, so there we go. Those are the numbers where we're sitting at, and some different variations coming out. Herman Mashaba. Yep, we'll talk about Herman Mashaba another one of the days. Today, of course, the corruption issue is center stage. First up, to thank your sponsor. Yep, I didn't thank my sponsor yet. I'm going to do that now. Thank you for reminding me there. Today's show brought to you by Protect Shore. Protect Shore, your complete PPE store, selling you PPE equipment at wholesale prices to the public. They're situated in Germiston, Wolbart and Allen Road in Germiston. I've been there to the store, beautiful store. They love everything from kiddies masks, face shields, humidifiers, lots of everything. PPE, complete PPE store. That's Protect Shore in Wolbart, Germiston, Johannesburg. I like your glasses, bro. Says Ishak, my glasses are fucked up, dude. No screws, off center, whatever. Anyway, some quick stats for you today, courtesy of my statistician Anida. This is the most surprising things for me, by the way. Our recovery rate was hovering around 45-46% for a long time. And how's it, Neville Governor? What's up? Our recovery rate was hovering at about 45 to 47, 49%. Our recovery rate is up to 69 to 70%. How's that for you? 69 to 70% recovery rate. I find that to be, I don't know. Mortality rate is down by 25%. Well, we haven't had that much deaths, but the mortality rate is down by 25%. Apparently, they've been using dexamethasone in the ICU wards or in the hospital since June. I didn't know about this. Did you know about this? Dexamethasone since June in the ICU wards there, which apparently helped bring the death rate down by 25%. The rate of infection is increasing slower, if that makes sense to you. The rate of infection is increasing slower. That could be due to the weather, change in the weather. We just passed the peak of winter, shall we say. So Worldy Smith is commenting some other stuff when you're talking about stats here. That's why it's distracting me. Jackie Hollenbeck figures, therefore it shows we're coming down in numbers. Yep. Well, if you stop testing so many people, I think the rate of infection will come down. Remember, we said rate of infection was increasing because we were testing more people. Rate of infection could be decreasing because, here's the thing. Government is now giving us these figures about death rate decreasing. By the way, interestingly, these figures start coming out now. Positive figures, good figures. And the cynic in me is trying to figure out, is this the ANC government now saying, look, we're doing good things here. This is what we're doing. Tasha says they're not testing. So recovery rate has shot up in the last 2 weeks to 70%. Mortality rate has decreased by 25%. Rate of infection is increasing slower. And all looking bright on the horizon. But then there's Professor Karim. Professor Karim says the worst is yet to come in 6 to 8 weeks. He's predicting end of November or something like that. 6 to 8 weeks, but that's before November. I don't think these figures are correct. Hi Casey, how are you doing? Says Ashland. How's it, Dr. Ashland? Been around for a while. The use of the drug is true, only given when in ICU. Says Clive Raju. They jippo the stats now as they got the loans they needed. Well, there you go. And if all of this is decreasing and things are getting better, why is WHO? Yeah, the World Health Organization. What the fuck are they doing here? If everything is now going according to plan, or we're doing a good job. Look, the number of requested tests have dropped. That's right. The number of tests have dropped. Government getting a hammering, hence the doctored figures to win back some plaudits. That's what I think, Sumesh. But is it just the cynic in me or the cynic in you? Can't we see something good that government is doing, that these are good figures? I mean, everything is coming down. Death rate is coming down. Recovery rate is higher. And yet, Professor Karim, you know, Professor Karim was smile and talk like that. Professor Karim, he says that the worst is yet to come in 6 to 8 weeks. So, since smoking doesn't contribute to C19, why can't we smoke, Casey? Just please advise. Now, well, today, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma was adamant that smoking contributes and puts your health at risk for COVID-19. So Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma is standing her ground. By the way, today, British American Tobacco was in court. I think it's a 2-day session. I'm not sure today is the first day or the second day. It's a 2-day session in the High Court of Western Cape. British American Tobacco, BAT, is there. Ashland said Ace Makoshula was talking nonsense. Ace is a fucking rogue. Good friend of mine got her results in 24 hours. She didn't have it privately done, though. Yeah, privately done tests only based on symptoms being shown, because they don't have the test kits to test everybody. So the testing also is reduced. Dr. K knows that the Corona Council will go to level 2 in a month. That's why it will spike. Educated guess. Yup. You're probably right there, Nicole Mahabir. That's the only thing she knows, right? Yeah, so they were defending the cigarettes. action. By the way, alcohol might be coming online. Cyril's going to address the public. I'm not sure when. I think it's Friday or tomorrow or by Sunday. But by next week, Wednesday, I do have some knowledge or some inside line that alcohol will be allowed in restaurants only. That's something I've got from a source. How true it is, we don't know. But Cyril's going to address us, I think either Friday or Sunday, I'm not sure. They're just making up everything. Says, did he phone you? Nope, he didn't phone me. Camille, how are you, Camille? First time you give me Casey, you rock, says Feroz. Keep up the good work. Second day today, and it doesn't look positive, says Sanjeev. That's the BAT case. More people are moving around, higher the risk of more people getting COVID. Well, that's right, Anida. That's why we're getting good figures. And then because of the good figures, we open up the economy, which we should be doing. Then more people get infected. And yeah. So which one are we? Open the economy, close the economy, save more lives. That's the running battle we've been having since day one of lockdown. As you know, Vusi Tembakayo is all for opening up the economy because we're killing businesses. Who could mind to go sit in a restaurant? People do have money, by the way, Tasha. Let us not and get away from this, even in business. People think there's no business, you can't do business. By the way, in a pandemic, a lot of businesses do better if they find the right avenues. And people do want to go to restaurants, by the way. Not all of them will survive, but people do want to go to restaurants. Restaurants will, if you don't have alcohol being sold in the bottle store, but you can have alcohol being sold in a restaurant, I promise you more people will go to a restaurant. And I don't have a problem with that. I think people will drink responsibly based on money and have a good time and build the restaurants, keep the restaurants going, keep people employed, build the economy. Scientists say inhalation of braai smoke is equivalent to smoking a carton of cigarettes. We're having more braais, yeah. Heard of something about alcohol being used to spur on the restaurant hospitality. Yep, that's what I've been hearing as well. We'll see how that goes. Backlog with test results since we're a few days behind. Why don't you think the DA is so quiet? Do I go to a restaurant to eat only just to drink alcohol? Well, doesn't matter. Go to drink, dude. So you can't buy alcohol and sit at home and drink, but you can go to a restaurant and drink. Well, Jackie Munsami, that is the issue. Obviously, to buy alcohol, then you must have the bottle store open. So, bit of that I don't really mind in that sense. If we're trying to find a middle ground here, for you to buy alcohol, then the bottle store must be open, and they say the bottle store opens it up to people being fucking befucked. I will tell you this much, and I've said this before, I don't mind the ban on alcohol, but the ban on cigarettes is the worst one. I think people are suffering more with the cigarettes. That's just my view. Cigarettes should be opened up more than... and here's the thing with Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma and the whole argument about... what Salim is saying there is that it doesn't make sense. The amount of lives they're supposedly saving through not selling cigarettes, which you're compromising your immune system. I would say 80% of those people, 80% of the smokers are still smoking, and they are smoking a weaker brand, and they are smoking a shitter brand, and they are smoking a crapper brand, and they are putting their lives more at risk, if that is even possible, and in the process depriving the country of millions, if not billions, of revenue, and spurring on the illicit trade and smugglers and smuggling and all. But what do we know? We're not in government. We don't have degrees and diplomas to be ministers of Kokta and where the restaurant's going to get liquor from. Well, restaurants get liquor. Some of them buy from them, other ones, I don't know. I think they get it directly from stores, or maybe bottle stores will deliver to them without opening to the public. That also can be done. That will kill them before COVID. What will kill them before COVID? Look, if they do the restaurants only, that's not a bad thing. I would think it's not a bad thing. I don't mind the ban on alcohol, but now they're selling it at restaurants. We are encouraging people to socialize publicly. Well, Jackie, I think their restaurants also have a sense of social distancing and all of that, and that can be arranged. How many people in the restaurant? These Caesars, there will be a loophole for alcohol to be available to everyone. Well, maybe they want the loophole to be there so that alcohol is available. I don't know. Let's take it from there and see plenty of alcohol available. Just have to pay the price. That's right, says Mervyn Naidu in Chatsworth. Everything is available in Chatsworth. The cigarettes, so Sanjay says 38 million and a day. On point, Casey, on cigarettes. By the way, how many of you, let's do this quickly for no prizes. How many of you can tell me how much a packet, let's see how much money is being made in this industry, right? How much do you think a packet of cigarettes costs to produce? To produce a 20s packet of cigarettes, how much do you think it costs? So let me put that question out there. Bought quarterly today for 100. Well, there he is going into it. Guy Goldsmith giving us quarterly for 130 for 20s, 100 gram boxes. So he paid 130 rand for 20s quarterly. Right, he spelled quarterly wrong, but that's fine. It's a Vito. How much do you think it costs to produce a packet of cigarettes 20s? The problem with alcohol is for drunk driving, not staying. Devin Melakovic says 5 rand. Kogi Lambal says 20 rand. Dion Fanikak says 7 rand. Donovan Chetty says 2 rand. Anita Saz is losing on billions. Tasha says 10 rand. Muidas Ritter says 17 rand. How much does it cost to produce just a packet of cigarettes before the taxes come into play? Mervyn Naidu says 10 rand. Kogil and Munsami says 4 rand 50. Amin says it costs 12 rand, says Kamil Hirji. A second comment from him, Kamil. Okay, 60 rand now, says Jafar. Michael Mari says 5 rand. Rajan Pillai says 15 rand. Naveen says 700 rand. What do you mean by 700? You mean 7 rand? Naresh Sarup says 2 rand. So we've had anything from 2 rand up to 20 rand to produce a packet of 20 cigarettes. Ladies and gentlemen, from my knowledge, what I have speaking to a cigarette supplier, a packet of 20 cigarettes costs anything between 250 and 3 rands. Yes, you heard correct. 250 to 3 rand a packet of 20s to produce the cigarettes. 250 to 3 rand to produce a 20s packet of cigarettes. From the 250 to 3 rand, thereafter 17 rand 50, that's right Lizzie, 17 rand 50 goes on for government taxes. That takes it up to 20 rand for the cost of the cigarettes, and thereafter obviously the markup on the cigarettes, and then the shop puts their markup, which takes it up to about 35 rand, 38 rand, like that for a packet of Stuyvesant Red. But my dear friends, it costs 3 rand. Let's cap it at 3 rand for a packet of 20s cigarettes, right? 3 rand, a packet of 20s cigarettes. Now, if you consider the market that it is now, where there are no taxes payable, so let's do the maths here. There are no taxes payable. So in a normal market, 3 rand plus the 17 rand taxes, that goes on the market for 35 rand. They're selling it at 35 rand. Now, with no intermediate buyer, no SPAR, no pick and pay, you're going from the factory directly to the market. From 3 rand, you're selling the packet of cigarettes for 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 rand, 130 rand a packet. That cost you 3 rands to produce. Now, you tell me how much of money is being made. I heard there are 10 million smokers in the country. I think it's figured about 8 to 10 million smokers. What percentage of that you think is still smoking? 80% of that cost 38 and 20s before markup. That's right, 3 rand 80. A packet is not bad. Of 10 cigarettes, and we're paying much for it. It's killing us. Yep, that's where and how much of money is being made in the tobacco industry, and how much of revenue, and all the 17 rands by all those millions of cartons of cigarettes is lost to us, the taxpayer. And that's, well, the rest of the maths at 2,500% profit per pack. 2,500%. I'll take Naresh's figures there as correct. Percentage profit. And that will tell you how much of money is being made on the black market and how much money is being lost. So if we consider Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma and whoever, and we fucking shooting our mouth here for the last 3 or 4 months, they don't fucking care. There are millions being put into accounts. There are millions being made, if not billions. in this last 4 months. And if you are in that situation, I would still say that you would also stop cigarettes being sold, because you are getting a lot of fucking money in your back pocket. That's what I can say there. Because it doesn't make sense that 80% of the smokers are still smoking and they're not fucking dying. Let's put it that way. So let's understand this. 80% of the smokers are still paying that price and are smoking. 80%, I would say 80%, just from the people I know. If I use that as an example, 80% of the people I know are still smoking, and the death rate is coming down. As the health minister has said, mortality rate is decreasing while 80% of the people are still smoking. Doesn't make sense. Yet they're trying to reduce the number of deaths by stopping cigarettes. Really? Look, let us not beat around the bush. This is a fucking government exercise. This is the Nkosazana Dlamini project, and this is what they're fucking doing. We are just the cunts in the center here who are getting fucked left, right, and center. It bucks billions. That's right. Anita says the manufacturers are making a huge profit, even if the police confiscate 90% of products. Very few go to paying British Tobacco. This is what Zuma has caused for future income. Yep, that's right. That's also true. But British American Tobacco, that's another fucking story on its own. They're another mafia on their own. By the way, speaking to a cigarette manufacturer, they allowed to produce. So if you didn't watch a documentary on the cigarettes, remember about 2 months ago, Cyril Ramaphosa and Kokta gave the go-ahead for cigarette manufacturers to produce cigarettes for export. So the companies were producing, the companies were working, they were producing cigarettes, but for export, only export. But you and I know, and as the investigation discovered, maybe 30% is going for export, the other 70% is being channeled back into the country. And by the way, another cigarette guy told me they export their cigarettes to Zimbabwe, right? And the cigarettes find their way back into South Africa, and he says, not my problem. I sold it cross-border. If it's coming back into the country, it's not my problem. I can't govern and police the borders. Well, he's got a point. He's doing the right thing. They're selling the cigarettes cross-border. They're exporting the cigarettes. Cigarettes are going to Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and they are coming back into South Africa on the black market. And he says, well, if he sold it and he's made his money, his job is done. If my cigarettes are exported to Mozambique and they find their way back into the country, you can't hold me accountable. Is it my fault? But we all know they're also sending the cigarettes into the market. We all know that. They all know that. Everybody knows that. That's a bullshit. NZ is getting cut on cigarettes. Of course he's getting a cut. Of course. I can't remember when last I seen a BAT bet. Yeah, so there we go. You can't discount that. Remember, we're dealing with our government who, all the cigarettes guys, you can be a supplier to the needy people. Well, to be honest with you, it's an industry I don't want to get involved in. It's a very, 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 very cutthroat industry, a very rough industry. I wouldn't say I want to get involved in the nitty-gritty of it. If cigarettes are legalized and I become a rep for a company, I'll probably do that. But on the level, not getting involved with them directly. When the lockdown is over, boycott all side hustlers selling overpriced, support the legal trade, teach them a lesson. Yeah, but people won't do that, George Singh. That's not human nature. If something is cheap, you buy it. For example, George Singh, you saying, if somebody came to you with a 6x9 speakers that's worth 600 rand and you give you 100 rand, you'll fucking pay the 100 rand. Let's analyze you, George Singh, what you're saying, right? You parking in your cab, one came by the market, you got a 6x9 in a box Pioneer speaker, worth 600 rand, you give him 100 rand, you negotiate him down to 80 rand, you give him 80 rand, you take the speakers. You are supporting the illegal trade yourself. You are fucking part of it. And we all do it, by the way. We all do it nonchalantly and unknowingly, unwittingly even, although we know what we're doing, but we're supporting a crime, we're supporting the illicit trade. That's what we're doing. So we like cheap things. No one's going to say, someone brings you a product, so there's a phone here working, it's worth 3,000 rand, I'll give you 500 bucks. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? If you don't buy it, someone else is going to buy it. I don't know. But you're supporting theft. Boss, we also weigh to smoke. Way to smoke. What? We also weigh. I don't know what that means. Way to smoke. Pay to smoke. Nishal Pratap. Right, definitely. So anyway, I was a bit depressed today with hearing all the. Listen, I was going to give you all the Gauteng Health Department also went to cigarette manufacturers with the government order to purchase mental stress patients part of therapy. Yep, I've also heard that about mental patients and people who have issues who can't deal with it. Charles like Lux, it's in our DNA, says Vishal Singh. So I was gonna the only one I want to talk about now is let's stop the cigarettes conversation now for a while. For those of you getting late feed, let's stop the cigarettes let's go to the corruption issue and speak to that. Those of you who saw the interview by Shahan Ramkisoon with Pule Mabe from the ANC, where he said in the interview they're taking steps, they got timelines, and he said to Shahan Ramkisoon in that interview, which I did a video about, he said, show me one official in the ANC who's got his fingers in the till and is still in government and nothing is being done by them. He said, show him that person and they will take action against him. Well, today we hear the Pule Mabe is involved, or has his fingers in, he's involved in a 49 million rand tender in the Northwest Province. 49 million rand tender. Same Pule Mabe who was speaking to Shahan and saying, no, the ANC is working towards things. We must work hand in hand with them to resolve it. They're putting steps in place to stop it. As he's saying all that, he is involved in a 49 million rand tender in the Northwest Province. Forget this, if you didn't hear it, get this here. For what? He wasn't selling PPE. He wasn't selling a product. None of that. He had developed an application. That's all, not even the phones, for an application for the Northwest Province, and what 49 million rand. Okay, there was some advertising and some projects in there. Let's call it 45 million rand, right? 49 million rand for an app that works with the hospitals for cleaning the linen, not cleaning it actually, maybe like a Uber app where you put in an application, they come and pick up your stuff and do all of that, where they don't even clean it. I don't know if they clean it. Big up team. Yep. So that's Pule Mabe. Remember, he's a spokesperson for the ANC, and he said in that video, show me one person who's got his fingers in the till. Well, Pule Mabe, by the way, that it gets even worse. That company of his was formed in March. That company was formed in March, and March, April, May, June. Within 3 months, the new company was paid 49 million rand. Within 3 months, a new company was paid 49 million rand. And within 48 hours of the tender being granted, the money was paid out. So within 48 hours. So by the way, the tender process was definitely flawed. Even somebody sent me something about the tender document where it says you must have no contacts or family in government, whatever. But this is the ANC, and in my video, I didn't swear Pule Mabe. I didn't call him a cunt. I didn't call him a puss. I just said, which is what I felt at the time. I just said, you're a disgrace to the founding members of the ANC. I said you're an embarrassment to your ancestors. You're an embarrassment to your parents. You're a disgrace to your wife. You're a disgrace to your children. Because what do your children tell future generations? My dad, what was he? Well, my dad was my hero. My dad was my role model. No, your dad was a fucking thief. And that's it. And now it's like, and I'm also saying, this is what we know in terms of the corruption is only what we know. It's only what we know. And every day we're finding out things we didn't fucking know. Like Pule Mabe yesterday, he's fucking telling us how they're going to fix corruption. How the ANC was work hand in hand with them and try and fix corruption. Yeah, when they're fucking in the trouble, we must work hand in hand with them. When Pule Mabe got 49 million rand, he didn't say fucking hold his hand and fucking go pick up the money. Right? And now we have a pension age ministerial age. Yeah, we're going to talk about that ministerial committee, by the way. That's the fastest government made payout. Yep, in 48 hours, They paid out 49 million. But Cyril Ramaphosa will be shocked because he doesn't know all these things are happening under his watch. You know, I'll mail you on the full document. I try to fill in the government. Yeah, you can mail it to me. It's fine. And then I want to touch upon COVID is Christmas. Yeah. So I didn't want to go into all the corruption. We know there's so much of corruption. We know there's so much of corruption. We know that. But what I want to talk about now is that today, our president Cyril Ramaphosa, our president Cyril Ramaphosa, today is taking some drastic action. So today, if you didn't know and don't follow the news, Cyril Ramaphosa, Facebook blocked me several times because of sharing. How do these live with their conscience? That's it. How do they live with their conscience of stealing, taking food out of people's mouths? And I keep saying this, the poorest of the poor, the black people, their brothers and sisters. Okay, steal from me, steal from white people, steal from colored people too, man. And you're stealing from your own people, man. But it's not what you know, Casey. This essay is who you know. Right. What do you mean by who? World Health Organization. They use the Disaster Management Act's relaxation of procurement process to tape the country. Yep, to rape the country, one you think. That's it, that is syrup. And even today I was listening to the news and Joanne Joseph on 702 said, because she's obviously alluding to the fact that Cyril Ramaphosa has formed this ministerial committee. But she says, when the 500 billion rand came and every time a tender was this thing, then they should have had a committee set up immediately. At that point, she was being sarcastic, saying, rather set the committee up first or initially because you know you're going to need the committee later on. So today, our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, is announcing this ministerial committee. Well, I'll tell you who's the ministerial committee, by the way. Just pay attention. This committee is going to inspect or go through fraud and corruption and get to the bottom of fraud and corruption and all the PPE contracts. Now, this committee has been, and Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC is now showing that they mean business. They're going to sort this matter out. Not only the food from the mouth, Casey, they're stealing the medicine from the throat. That's right. So, Calvin Wesley Pillay, good afternoon. So, this is these are the people on the ministerial committee. The Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, he's the chairperson. That's Ronnie Mamola, I think it is. Minister in the Presidency, Minister of Finance, Tito Mboweni, Minister of Police, Becky Cele, Minister of Public Service and Administration, and Kokta Minister Nkosi Dlamini Zuma. So these are the ministers. Of course, Becky Cele got his own fucking hands dirty there. They don't have a conscience. They are selfish, right? So these are the ministers. So basically, apart from the fact that the horses have already bolted, the July Handicap, the horses are almost near the end, and now they're closing the starting gates, if I can put it to you in that way. The horses, July Handicap, they're already 500 meters down the line. They're going towards the end. And that's the time we're closing the starting gates. Does that make sense? Does that analogy go? Starters gun, and we all set to go, ready to go, the 500 billion rand COVID fund. 500 billion rand COVID fund, last one again is social distancing. And one more in to go, one more in to go is corrupt billionaires. Tender fraud coming in on the inside line. We got a few seconds to go. There's a starter's gun and away we go. This is a 500 billion rand COVID fund. Running up ahead is Pule Mabe coming in close behind Fikile Mbalula. On the end there's Natim Tetra with his arts and culture funding. And when they're 500 meters down the line of whatever, Cyril Ramaphosa closing the gates. Close the gates. Now we need to go and fucking find out what happened. Yeah. The horses are gone. The horses are bolted. Money has been spent. Right? And now Cyril Ramaphosa is going to clamp down on this. He's got this committee of fucking senior citizens and retarded cunts. Right? So these fucking senior citizens, retarded cunts, who are fucking rogues in their own fucking element. I promise you, if we go and investigate all of them, we already know Becky Cele is maladministration. We already know that. Right? We already know that. Nkosi Dlamini Zuma is no fucking angel. Right? Ronnie Mamola, what is his name? Mamola, Minister of this thing. Right? The only guy I'll probably trust is Tito Mboweni, right? For whatever reason, until we find some shit about Tito Mboweni. So here we have some retired, old fucking, not retired, senior citizens, right? These ANC members have been tasked with investigating fellow ANC members for corruption. No, the sound didn't go off. I don't, not one. If Cyril Squirrel and the ANC were really, really interested in getting to the bottom of this, they would have put at least 2 external people in that. Even get members from the DA or another party or an external auditor or somebody else. Hey? Not retired, the older retired, yeah. Sorry, I made a mistake with retired. If they were really serious, so Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, don't fucking take us. We know you take us for cunts. And I don't know. You know, I'm going to come to what we do about this. And there's still an account for the 25 billion funds missing, and she's part of the... Yep, that's right, Leonie Watley. She's part of the investigating committee. So we have a bunch of thieves. I'm going to call all of them thieves. I think all of them have fucking made money. If we investigate all of them, from Tito Mboweni to everyone, they all fucking made money somewhere. And now they are going to have to investigate their cronies, their people. So you're telling me senior members of the ANC are going to come to us and tell us how senior members of the ANC are fucking the country. That'll be good for the elections, right? Think about it. What do you think this committee is going to come and tell us after 5 years of investigation and millions of taxpayers' money gone into invest? What do you think they're going to tell us? What do you think the ANC is going to really come out with and tell us? How many people have been, they say, you know what, our MEC for Health, jail, stole 5 million. Our MEC for Health in the Northwest, put him in jail. We're taking no shit. He stole 5 million. These are people you appointed, Mr. President. These are people you put there. Right? Now you're going to come out and come into election time. You're going to tell us how your members screwed up. And you think, or you want us to think, that that's what you're going to do. Must be a special kind of cunt you think we are. Remember KC show, don't dull out the muscle. With chemo and radiation, it's sad that they're taking us for such puss. Yep. Well, that brings me to my, by the way, Kritika is talking about my show. I talk so much, I don't even promote my own show. Don't dull out with the masala. My show is coming up. Let me get my show poster on there for now. So I can just promote my show. I need to fucking pay the rent, guys. Everybody's saying, well done, well done. Not fucking paying my rent, though. There we go. But don't dial on the masala. Right, there's go. That's my show there. Buy some fucking tickets. www.cricket.co.za. KC for president. They don't care. The country is, how can you investigate your own members? Well, this is the ANC, Mervyn. They can investigate anybody they want. They can investigate their own people. Alibaba got nothing on them. That's a true story as well. Let us stop moaning. For the next, how many minutes? Let's take 5 minutes. Casey put tender for a chair. For the next 5 minutes, right, let's concentrate on this. I want to know. What do we do now? What do we do? We're already being fucked. Everyone says the country, I mean, you hear people say the country is down the drain, the economy is down the drain. But listen, guys, you and I, probably most of you here, got 20, 30 years left on this planet. Right? What about our kids? What about our kids? What about our grandkids? What about the people we're going to leave behind? What do we leave for them? So in the next 5 minutes, I want to ask you, what do we do about this now? What do we do? Tax revolt, best thing came up. I was going to suggest that, by the way. Nishal Partab, that's my thing. That's my thing. What do you think we should do right now? How do we, you wouldn't have to graph again. How do we put this right? How do we save South Africa? How do we build for our Sahil? If you can't have a good conversation, dude, then don't comment, right? Casey, make them pay for all of us and we watch your show. Another commission of inquiry at theft. Most people don't vote. It's time to take the wrong. Yeah, what do we do, guys? All of you who are complaining here, what do we do? The problem is my insurance might not. Now, yeah, well, they can access any funds they want. Retirement age must be standard and fucking be in place. Once you eat, you must be out. We are fucked. Well, Clinton Knight is saying we are fucked. We all know that. That's not the question I'm asking. I'm not asking you if we fucked. I'm asking you, what do we do about it? Nishal Pratap, rates and taxes is something many societies have tried to do that. Support a tax revolt, says Hansa Bharat. Yep. It's sad growing up as kids. Share your post. Expose the ANC for what they are. Tax revolt. Yep. Change the government. Well, Mervyn Naidu, realistically now, we can't change the government. We can't do it. What's a plan for the next 6 months to 1 year to 2 years before, and what are we, 3-4 years away from the next election? In that time, South Africa will become a fucking barren wasteland and will be more fucking in the bush. Eulalia says, nationwide tax revolt, make your X count. The voting is too far away, guys. The voting is too far away. That's my thing. Send a clear message with your votes. Next election, make sure you first start placing competent people in critical positions. Well, the point I'm making here is that all of those things are supposedly, what, in the next 4 years. What do we do now? How do we, or are we basically fucked? We can't do anything. Imagine if we qualified to vote only if we have a tax number, what a different world would live in. Yep. Important point there, Silvana. But obviously that's not the case, because if that was the case, ANC won't be in power. Not at all. We need you and Herman to team up. I'll vote for you. Well, coincidentally, I'm trying to get in touch with Herman Mashaba, by the way. So let's see. Let's make biryani and bunny chows and supply these mothers. Well, you see, some of you can't come up with answers. There's not much to say. I'm silently watching and waiting for a tax revolt. Yup, Reina is supposed to set up the meeting for me there with Herman, remember, eh? They can tender for it, educate people on what the ANC is doing. Overthrow the government. We all need to come under. By the way, we all must do what you are doing. Expose corruption on all platforms working. So, Naresh Sirup says something, and I'm going to allude to what Anita said here. A very important point, which I realized a couple of years ago. You know, a lot of you people, so I'm not going to read your comments now, and I want you to just listen to me. I'm not reading the comments. I'll go back and read the comments just now. What I want to say to you is this. A lot of people, and shall we say the privileged people, whites, Indians, privileged people, when they say, right, let me just use that terminology. You'll see where I'm going with this. When we ask the question like this, all of us, many of us, most of us have asked the question, oh, but the black people still keep voting for the ANC. How stupid can they be? Well, you see, that's what Naresh Sirup said now, and then Anita said, educate people on what the ANC is doing. You see, you must understand something which I realized a couple of years ago when I used to work with staff who were around 16, 17 years old. They were waiters, the kids coming to work. Average age was about 16 years old, coming from the black townships. And they used to work on the weekends, part-times. When you ask them about politics and whatever, they know fuck all. Look, it's not only black kids, it's children as a whole. So let me say, they know fuck all. So, the point being, what you know, you reading in the Daily News, that time back in the day, a couple of years back, the Daily News, the Mercury, the Sunday Times. Sunday morning, you open up the Sunday paper and you read about all the corruption and everything that's happening. You watch the news, ENCA, CNN, BBC, you watch all the news and you're clued up. You know it. You know all the corruption. The problem is the voting public who live in the squatter camps and the settlements, they don't know what you know. Did you realize that? While we lambaste them for voting for the same government, they don't know the depths of corruption. Like even this Pule Mabe case, how many of you knew about it? How many of you didn't know about it? How many of you watching really watch the news every day to know exactly what's happening in the country? You get bits and pieces here and there. Some of you don't fucking care. Some of you say, bullshit, I'm not fucking interested. And you know family members like that. You know friends like that who don't fucking take an interest. I'm not gonna vote. And then we so quick to pick on the black people in the townships for voting ANC, when we got own fucking retarded people sitting and walking amongst us who won't fucking do anything, don't read the newspaper, don't know what's happening, don't educate themselves, and make decisions based on that. I'm reading your comments now. Tax revolt. Naresh says, all what we are doing, tax revolt won't work, country needs the money. Well, Naresh says the tax revolt won't work. I understand what he's saying, but we still need a tax revolt, or a threat of a tax revolt. Naresh, you with me? He's saying, and he's right, a tax revolt won't work because it will hurt us more than anybody else. The guy in the township who doesn't have water and sanitation won't be hurt. You who won't have water and sanitation will be hurt. The guy in the township who doesn't have roads and doesn't have housing, electricity won't be hurt. You and I will be hurt because we rely on those things. That's what he means by that. But I'm saying it must be the threat of a tax revolt. Let's hold back our tax. It can be done. No, Nishal Pratap, is not that it can't be done. By the way, for talking tax revolt, I could be fucking put in jail for treason or something. That's right. Young people will come up will be worse. By the way, Ashlyn is saying, making a good point here, various points coming up. Ashlyn says, we blame the old people in the ANC, but the young people coming up will be worse. And you guys need to take a step back and say, okay, let's say even now, Cyril Ramaphosa is a cunt. Cyril Ramaphosa is fucking useless. Cyril Ramaphosa is a rogue. Okay, what's the alternative? What's the alternative? What do we do? Right now, Cyril Ramaphosa says, I'm stepping back. You'll call me a cunt. You'll say I'm useless. I'm stepping back. Who's going to become president? David Mabuza, deputy president. Going to become president for a while. Yeah? And then 6 months. Think about it. Let me get your answer on that. Let's first get this, because Ashley is making a good point. What's the succession plan of the ANC? Why do you think maybe the old farts are still there? Who's standing behind them to come up and take the cudgels of Minister of Finance, Minister of Home Affairs, Minister of Corporate Governance, ban the tender system? I'm not reading all your comments. Too many comments. I'm going to see Giri Casey in the mask can't do anything wrong. If only Mandela was around, right? The country needs a referendum. So I want to ask you, tax revolt will give them a reason. Naming and shaming the culprits will register eventually. Yep. So tell me now, if we don't like Cyril Ramaphosa, let's start there. What's the alternative? What's the alternative? Take another glass of juice, please. Change of ANC. Well, we can't change the ANC. UDM leader Bantu Limisa believes the ANC is incapable of curtailing corruption as members of the ruling party. Well, I think they are incapable. Rajan says, NDZ, are you joking or is that a true story? The farts are there because it never left. We need the Tuli Maronsela. Tuli Maronsela is not part of the ANC though. She's not in the structure. All covering up. Why are they quiet? Look, the ANC is not going to give up power. So Leon Watley says, there you go. I want you to confront that reality. I want you to confront the reality of saying Cyril Ramaphosa stepping back is a scary thought. There is nothing to replace him. As flawed as he is our best option right now. The most profound words and the right words, I think, that Leonie Watley is saying. Think about Cyril. Give me now, don't give me any other bullshit story. Tell me, from the ANC, if we remove Cyril Ramaphosa, who do we put? You know, Casey, I was in SRC in university and the young. Oh, tender fraud, SRC. Remember the DA, South Africa must lose there. David Didi will be present, Zol, deputy, going to the picnic. I will make what we're going to the picnic. There we go, says, Mojas Ritas. NEC calls the shots, that's right. There is not a single person within the current structure can. And isn't that a shame, Naresh Sirap? There's been no succession planning by the ANC. There haven't been grooming leaders. You know, even back in the day, I mean, even the ANC Youth League, I mean, back in the day, like Julius Malema, even though you didn't agree with him, you knew there was a Julius Malema coming up, the Floyd Shivambus, you know, the younger ones coming up, that there was people in the structures to maybe take over. What have we got? Let's go there. Cyril is the only hope, but without his faction. There we go. So I just wanted you to make that understanding that while we criticize Cyril Ramaphosa, what are our alternatives? Somebody says, Ashik Takuddin says, Uncle Praveen Gordhan got no fucking chance of becoming anywhere. Let me tell you this. Firstly, he's an Indian. He'll never get there. Although he may be qualified and I may do a good job. Tito for president. Yeah, if Tito wants to be president, remember they brought Tito back from this thing. And Tito not for president because Tito don't toe the line. Tito will tell them where to fucking get off. What must be replace them with another ANC member? Let's vote them out. Nishal, you can't vote them out. There's no election. You can't vote them out. No, Kalklema Motlante, he comes, he only plays the role of deputy for a couple of months and they take him away. Ace, Mags, and Shoelace. Ace, Mags, Shoelace. Well, Ace is waiting in the wings, by the way. Ace is waiting in the wings. People are predicting Ace Makashula to be the next ANC president, by the way. Do you want a gangster in charge? What's the alternatives? I try to make you understand where we are. We are between the devil and the deep blue sea. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. The only person with leadership qualities is Dr. Mkhize. ANC, no one got brains, so we can pick up anyone from there. Joint government. Yeah, but Jay, you take this thing about joint government. Those things don't work. You're talking pie in the sky. I'm talking reality. What right now, Cyril Ramaphosa, the ANC is still in charge. The ANC is a ruling party. You don't talk about another government. Don't talk about the DA. Don't talk about corporate governance. Don't talk about multi-party governing. Don't talk about all that. Not gonna fucking work. The ANC is in charge. I'm saying the ANC is in charge and take Cyril out. Oh, Cyril says, listen here, Caro, you're calling me a cunt every time. I'm fucking tired of this bullshit now. I'm going to fucking make my money. I'm going back into business. I don't need this bullshit in my life. I don't need you calling me a cunt and a squirrel. Let me fuck off. Let me go back to my business. I'm a billionaire. I don't need this shit in my life. Let me fuck off. What would you do? How can David be president if he can't find the mother? David Mabuza. Naren Singh can't govern because he lost his red brief. I say we'll never see another president other than a black man. They don't like Tito. Yep, they don't like Tito because Tito says it like it is. Look at Zuma. And remember, they brought Tito back because they couldn't find anybody else to be Minister of Finance. Constant pressure and expressing fraudulent activity aimed to stepping back. What does that mean? Organize a boat. Let's fly back to India. No replacement for them. As a person in sales, we have to sell up higher than the ANC. Mervyn says, what if this fraud and corruption being done is set up by his own members? Mervyn Naidu, that can't be discounted. We can't say the ANC might have a recall. So remember, they recalled President Jacob Zuma. They recalled him. The ANC, the NEC, the top six recalled Jacob Zuma. You're telling me the powers in the ANC can't recall Ramaphosa? Reality is ace, yep. Well, Naresh is giving us a very, very sobering fact here. The reality is that David Mabuza or Ace Makashula, by the way, Ace I think will overpower Mabuza, next president. Very real reality, by the way. Real, let's discuss this. I'm interested in this. Casey, very true what you're saying. It's a future you'll be worried about. Just put Trevor Manuel there. Trevor Manuel fucking rogue himself, all the ANC members. So here's the interesting thing, right? I will never elect a non-black. I make Nzimande, Kokta minister, will at least have Dobbs and this thing. Casey replacing Cyril is another problem from the same party. Our next president, we can't do fuck all. Kosazana is Duma. Well, we can't rule that out. So, let's also consider this. Let me take 5 minutes, a couple of minutes to tell you this. And this is something people are telling me as well inside the ANC. They say, listen, as much as we give Cyril Ramaphosa, so let's understand Cyril Ramaphosa this way. Look, I was also very disappointed in Cyril Ramaphosa. But maybe then I don't know the workings of politics. So if you're going to give me a couple of minutes, let me tell you my thinking, which I've had in my head for a while, talking to people within the ANC. that Cyril Ramaphosa, let's look at Cyril Ramaphosa, right? Cyril Ramaphosa, the salary he earns, what's it, 2 million or something? The salary he earns from being the president, do you think it's the salary from being a president? And a big difference that the salary that moves him. Jacob Zuma needed the money. Cyril Ramaphosa is a successful businessman. He's made lots of money. He's making money. He's got business interests. What is he doing in parliament? What is he doing in parliament? What is he doing as a president? Does he just want the hype to be the president? Does it mean that he just wants the glory or the name to be the president? Or do you think that Cyril Ramaphosa may actually be the right man for the job? Unfortunately, he's saddled with the NEC and the factions within the ANC. Do you also not maybe think that Cyril Ramaphosa is actually saving us from a worse fate? Do you not also maybe think that Cyril Ramaphosa, while we say he's a cunt here and a cunt there, that he's forced to give in to these pressures, but to hold the country and to move forward slowly to do things? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think Cyril is actually a cunt? Do you think Cyril is in it for the money? He's a very different from Jacob Zuma. I want you to understand why Cyril has a wrong support. Why do you think Cyril Ramaphosa became the president? What was he there for? And does he need to be there? No, Casey, bodyguards are expensive. This way Cyril will have free bodyguards for life after politics. Cyril is going to be recalled because his rule is like eggshells trying not to rock the boat. Yep, and Naresh is almost putting it right. Cyril is walking on eggshells. He's trying to please everybody, those who have put him in power, those who voted for him, and that's where we are seeing his failings, his miserable failings as a president. NZ will never get enough votes to keep the ANC as a ruling party. What do you mean NZ will never get enough votes to keep the ANC as a ruling party? Well, because you got it all wrong there, Mervyn. I'll tell you why. Gosh, what other countries seeing our plight might be thinking and laughing at the president and its officials. From my prediction, the ANC will not get more than 50% next polls. Casey, let's have people's feedback on the predictions. Cyril is good, my view. The ANC needs him because he is a stable person for South Africa. Absolute power. Well, Anita makes a good point there, because remember, for overseas investment, for investment which the government needs, Cyril Ramaphosa comes across as a statesman. Definitely a possibility, Casey. Are you saying Cyril is our Donald Trump? Probably so. Probably a blessing in disguise, says Ravin Govin. I just wanted to open your mind up to that way of thinking, understanding that it still stirs the hornet's nest. NEC, he runs the risk of being recalled. Those under him, let him down. So yes, remember, that's what you must understand. Cyril Ramaphosa doesn't call the shots. He's not the president who tells you to fuck off. The NEC, the top six, and the ANC, if they feel, if they form their own factions. By the way, you'll heard the guy in America, Justice Malala, said the ANC needs to split. Justice Malala in America said, he said this a couple of months ago in his talk show. He said the ANC, for the benefit of the country, needs to split down the center. The two factions need to split, otherwise the country is fucked, and that's where we are at the moment. Casey, remember who gave the shoot order at Marikana? Casey, please start of your shows with my fellow South Africans. By the way, he is the best president we had. Well, somebody says, Nika says, by the way, he's the best president we had. I want to believe that. Maybe he's in a bad position of where he's coming, how he's coming, what he's done. Maybe he's being shown to be weak because he doesn't know how to handle it, or he actually knows how to handle it, but he's playing this card down. To restore faith to the ANC, it's almost worked, but thieves can't stop. Cyril is not a cunt, but he's giving in to his comrades. Remember, these oaths were... Yep, what is he supposed to do? But if he speaks out against the ANC, they will chop him. So somebody is saying, and I even want him to speak out, if he speaks out against the ANC, he will be in trouble. he's in for the money with international investments after he leave the presidency. Well, probably right, Anida, as well. Cyril was told that we, the ANC, made you so the president is on terms or else because he never needed the money. Yep. Tasha says, my comment is the face of the ANC. Well, there you go. Been a fairly lit discussion. Hope I just got your mind working there. Guys, as we're going to end, don't forget to buy, support my show, guys. Don't dollar with the masala. You can do your goodbyes and everything now. We're about to end the show now. Thank you for watching. We've been an hour there. Justice was right, says Natalie Crick. Thank you for watching. Come to the end of the show. It's what we do every Wednesday night, every night, weekday night. Tomorrow it's Puza Friday. Then it's Saturday. Can have some videos on Saturday. Guys, most of you guys haven't bought tickets for my show. I know that because I see the figures. And can ask you guys to try and support where you can. Those of you who never bought any tickets, it's a family show. www.cricket.co.za. Where can we buy KC branded clothing? Kritika will give you a number. The Kritika is asking for KC branded clothing. You will give one of these things there. Look, these are hot stuff. The mother beanie, you can get this one here, and other stuff. In case you're dashing that orange juice with what? I don't know. Now that you told me you're dashing it with what? I don't know. Just because you said that, and I'm going to show you what I'll do. I don't know. Because you asked me, I'll do it. There we go. There we go. It wasn't big dash. There is a pig gin here. I don't know whether they can have. But anyway. So now I did it. In front of you. Let me taste it. Nothing wrong with that. It's a Puza Thursday. Donovan Gould, thank you for joining me. And yeah, Jerem, I told you I'll buy Raina Ramsanju. Cool, really. Right, say good night, guys. Don't be rude. Those of you who've been watching, haven't said anything, say good night. Be polite. Yes, Puza Friday, not talking politics, just chilling, great music. Says Shirley ready. And for KC merchandise, Kritika says that. Right, let me see all you guys who didn't comment at all, the new guys. I'm staying on for a while, for a minute or two. Let me see your comments. Let me see you saying good night. Feroz Syed says, small shot. Yeah, small shot. Puza Thursday. Got something to do tomorrow. Camille, thank you for commenting. Samira Bejna says good night. Keegan Cowley, lekker night, night. Feroz Syed, good night. Xavier Naidu, sorry. Kritika, join us for a drink on the group KC. Ay. That's dangerous. Reina, the beanie is mine because the driver took the cap. Yeah. You gave it to him and I gave it to you. Jackie says good night. We'll play Randy. Whoa, you're tempting me there. Cole, ready? I read Coke ready for some reason. Tasha from the mountains in Cape Town says good night. So does Yugan. And Hansa Bharat says Mother Paw for the dead. No, the dead understand that we can't pour for the dead. Iskab Abraham says good night, Mabru, good night. Naresh says top show again. Thank you, Naresh. Nodal Naidu, good night. Gia Pachapa, good night. Shane Derry, Jackie Munsami. I had only one glass of wine the evening. I have another one. My girl says Sky Payne. Alright, Sky Payne. Good night, Sky. Nice name, Sky. Sharp KC, the mother. Buy tickets, guys. Going to be good night, guys. Cookie Pillay, KC from Josie. I mean, Josie, that's freezing, man. George Singh says, at least you got a shout. Shout out to Auntie Premi. I'm fucking doing shout outs here. What's that? Sorry. Auntie Premi. Shout out to you, Auntie Premi. And take care, Xavier. You're planning to get into politics. Roy Naidu, there's a definite, we are not ruling out the possibility. The team and I are in discussions on that. We're checking out the possibilities. Look, with the new dispensation and High Court ruling about individuals being able to go to Parliament, there is definitely a possibility for anyone can get into Parliament now, according to the High Court ruling. So, me going to Parliament is not impossible. I don't do coke when I'm a topper. Wrong dash, but not going to hold. Who cares, wrong dash? I had the dash. Somebody said dash it and I did it. Right, don't forget to get your tickets to my show. I'm just seeing who else is on. Hero Nursing is. Let me shoot while I'm there. Lippy Fruit and Gin. Awesome interactive show, Casey. Good night. Thank you, Anita, for the stats. Giving me the information, giving me the power, giving me the stuff to have a conversation about. Thank you. Say good night to Sarah. Special good night to young Sarah. I was seeing a picture of her the other day on my platform. Don't download the masala sizzling. And Leekan Thiessen says, I said good night. Oh, sorry. Leekan Thiessen, good night. I didn't see your comment. If you don't buy a ticket, you're going to name and shame. Yeah. If you don't buy tickets, we're going to name and shame you. Cole Ray says, good performance, Casey. Thank you. For merchandise, Kritika has put up the number 073 767 583. With that, it's good night.